Okay, so today I'm going to talk about this tool here. This is my Kobalt router table with a fixed router that comes with it. It's an all-in-one tool. I've had this about 5 or 6 years now. It's pretty beat up right now, but I love this tool, I will say. It's been a pleasant surprise for me. For the price, it's my best value shop tool I have, and I'm very happy with it. I'm going to say that. I'm not happy with a lot of my tools because I do beat them up. So this is the Kobalt. The model number is K11RTA-03. That's everything. That's the router table with the router. And if you want to buy individual pieces, it's a Kobalt router. The model number is, I believe it is 1311.3, and then the table itself is 1034.2. But I would just buy the whole thing. Get both. I think it came out to $128 all in. Including taxes, came with like 140, 130 something. So it's been a great tool. It's not. I'm not saying it's the greatest tool. I'm not saying it's better than the Bosch round table, or if you get like the better brand, the Jessams or whatever. They have better router tables. But this has been a pleasant surprise. It's a little chintzy, but it definitely works, and I made money with this tool, and that's the most important thing for me. So let's get into some of the breakdown of this tool. Okay, so let's get into this tool. So it's an aluminum top. So it's not the greatest, but it's definitely sturdy, and it does come with plastic legs. There is a video out there, and I'll see if I can find it. I think his name was Dave Fix It or something like that, where he mounts this into a bench, the top only, takes these legs out of the loop, and it's a pretty good video. If I can find it, I seen it a couple years ago, and I've never done it. I keep thinking I'm going to do it, but I just don't have the space. So I move this when I need it. I'm going to put it underneath my bench chair when I don't need it. So it's a 120 volt outlet. It does go into a smart switch here, I guess you call it, where you can plug your shop vac into it, where you could, if you turn it on, your shop vac will come on. There's your power switch here. It also comes with these little feather boards. They adjust these little bolts, and there's little washers and these little plastic knobs underneath to kind of tighten it, loosen it, and also same with the fence, the height adjustment, which is pretty good. It has these little bulbs. The fence itself moves with these little knobs here. Same thing in the back here. You can move. It has like a little measuring board here, so you know where you're at. I use that a lot, especially if I'm doing trim pieces where I want to keep everything tight. That little guard here comes up. You can plug in your shop vac in the 2-inch port in the back here. I just plug my regular shop vac in right here, and it works pretty good. I don't have any issue with like too much dust build up. That's about it for specs. It comes with the router down here. It's a fixed router. It did come with some other accessories. Like, it does come with the book here. It comes with a manual. There's your part number and everything. It does come with a manual. What I don't know if it came, and I can't remember if it came with the thing to lower and raise your thing, but I just use a regular Allen wrench. I forget the size, but it's the standard size for all of them. It just goes right into your. If you can see that here. This goes right into your router. You can lift it counterclockwise, lift it up, or clockwise lift it up, and down counterclockwise. So, and the video will show you how I set all this up. It's pretty beat up. I use it a lot. I probably use it almost 2 or 3 times a week, easy. I mainly use it for, I keep a chamfer in here, as you see. I mainly use it for chamfering like leg frames, bottom and top, put a little or round over. Also, I use it ogle bits if I'm doing trim and other kind of pattern bits. Another great thing is rabbit. I use the rabbit bit a lot. And this is a 1/2-inch collet. It's in here now. I think it does come with a 1/4 inch for the router, but I don't know where that is. So, but I just keep the 1/2 inch in there. If I'm going to use a 1/4 inch, I'll also use one of my trim routers over here. Whether it be the Bosch or the Rigid. I also have this Ryobi plunge router, but I keep that on a circle jig, so when I'm do circle cuts. Another good thing with this, and you'll see later in the video, is I use these bits. These were very expensive, like $130. They were more than the tool itself combined. These are for like these Bosch slot cutters for your shaker style cabinet doors patterns and drawer faces and things like that. You also could use them for your drawers itself, cutting your grooves, which we'll show later. And you also have your flush trim bits and stuff like that. I'll keep in there, and a bullnose bit I'll use a lot too for my cutting boards. So put my little slot handles, and which I'll show later. So that's about it. So this is the tool. It's been a great tool for me. and we'll get into how I use it. Okay, you can see here I'm going to be setting my router table up for some different types of cuts. Right now I'm putting a chamfered bit in, so I'm just lowering and raising the bit. And it comes with this wrench too, I forgot to mention earlier. It's just a basic wrench to loosen your half-inch collet with for your router, your fixed router underneath. And just setting the fence here, as you can see, and then we're going to start making some cuts. And the rest of this video is going to be just showing examples and sample cuts of what I do with this tool almost daily. I use this tool a lot, and this is going to show you a lot of examples how I use it, and what I use it for. That helps make me make my projects come out.
All right, so we're set up. We'll set the shop back up on the whip. I have some dust collection, and this works pretty good actually. All right, so we're ready to start cutting these, but we'll run a test piece through first.
Okay, as you heard there, I like to run a test piece through first on my cuts, just to make sure we're dialed in and ready to go before we start working on our real work pieces. So you see we're just switching out some bits on the fly, just showing how I do it. It's pretty quick and easy, just like any other router table probably, and I do this, like I said, probably a couple times a week. Here I'm doing my most common use of this tool, just cutting chamfers or roundovers on legs and frame pieces for tables. This is what I mainly use this tool for. You can use a trim router, and also forgot to mention earlier, it does come in a little miter gauge, as you saw in the one clip earlier. I forgot to mention that earlier. It does come in a miter gauge. I very rarely use it. It's kind of chintzy, but it does come with one. I did forget to mention that. So here I'm cutting my shaker style rails and stiles. Here you could use that Bosch slot cutter that I use here. It puts my 1/4-inch groove in each piece, and you can set your depth and your height any way you like. And I like to use like a little push stick here, because the stock is pretty thin, and you want to be careful here because this is a pretty dangerous tool. Routers are dangerous and they're intimidating to use, and you just have to be very cautious when you're using them. That's why I have to use whether it be a push stick or like a pull or like a push block or something when I'm cutting thin stock like this. Also, I like to use these router tables for cutting trim pieces for like cabinets or chest, or just wall trim pieces, or just little ogle bits like you use for your roundovers that you use for like your trim work in your kitchen. And this is another cool use of this. I use the rabbets to cut, whether it be these floor mats or the shiplap type walls. You could use your router bit or one of your cutters to cut these and fit these in. There's different ways you could do this. You could do like I said, the slot, or you could do like a rabbet and just kind of join them together and just brad nail and glue them in. So this is what I'm doing here. This is probably my second most use on this tool. I like to use this for shiplap walls and floor mats. Another good use of this tool is I like to use this for my handles for my cutting boards. I'll put like two little stop blocks up on the fence. I'll just clamp them on, and I'll run a bull nose um, on the router, and I'll just set the height that I want and run the cutting board on each side through the bull nose. It's just safer. You could do it with a jig and a trim router too, but it just makes it a little easier and safer. More consistent this way. Routers like to tend to jump on you a little bit, especially trim routers. So you have to be careful. These are very dangerous tools. Probably the most dangerous tool in the shop. And I have cut myself on a router. Routers and table saws definitely scare me the most, and jointers too a little bit. But the routers, whether it be a trim router or these router tables, routers, they chip out. If you rush your workpiece through, you just got to take your time and just kind of go slow. Run through it like a piece of 1x2 before running through the table saw to get the final width and depth of the cut of the piece. Because if you go with a 1x1 piece of round over, try to run through your router table, that could be very dangerous. So we get into that too, but I like to just run a bigger piece through and then cut it through the table saw when I'm done to get my final dimensions. Okay, so this is where I cut the trim pieces. I usually cut them on the table saw for final width, and then cut them on the miter saw. And these are nice touches for like cabinets and chests and things like that, or even trim in your kitchen. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.